The Four Horsemen open the show by stepping onto the stage and warning the crowd not to assume they disappeared or that their magic was gone. They say that anyone who made it into the event did so because they figured out a clue the horsemen left behind. After being away for 10 years, they announce that they are officially back. Atlas tells the audience that the more attention people give, the easier it is to mislead them with familiar tricks. He points out that in magic, something only returns once the trick is complete. Merritt adds that the night is meant to stay secret, and Jack tells everyone to stay alert. Henley jokes about her life updates and says she refused to miss the show. The group explains that each person in the audience received a card and must trade it with someone nearby at random. They choose a woman holding an ace of diamonds and ask if anyone else has the same card. A man does, so they bring him on stage. Merritt places him under a hypnotic act, and the others pretend to step inside his body. When he wakes up, he speaks as if he is Atlas. He calls for a man named Bread who is in the crowd and exposes that Bread created a fake crypto service that stole money and hid the profits. Still under the act, the volunteer blurts out Bread's account numbers. The horsemen then send Bread's stolen money out to the whole audience. The volunteer even rises into the air and copies Henley's motions before the act ends. Everyone is told to pour their drink over their card, which reveals a set of numbers. These numbers serve as passwords to the wallets where Bread's money has been distributed. Bread threatens to call the police, but the horsemen tell him the police are already coming, then disappear and leave him on the stage alone. After this, June, Bozow, and Charlie are introduced. They are three friends who are huge fans of the horsemen's work. On their way home, they send June to climb into their place because they don't have their keys. They secretly live in an abandoned apartment that no one else knows about. They have studied everything the horsemen ever did and have recreated many of their shows. Atlas suddenly appears, and at first they think he is one of the holograms they built, until they realize he is actually there. They admit that they recreated the entire show because the real horsemen had not performed in 10 years. Atlas does not seem bothered. He jokes with Bozo, then reveals personal information about each of them. He explains that he received a strange letter telling him that 4 people must go on a trip to create the best magic show ever, and he believes that the role belongs to them. He also mentions that the original horsemen are no longer a team. Bozow refuses at first, but June and Charlie convince him, and the three of them agree to join Atlas. The story then shifts to Veronica Vanderburg, who runs the powerful Vanderburg Corporation. She is giving a private presentation to a group of wealthy guests, showing them the quality and value of her diamonds. Veronica later holds a meeting with shareholders and board members. Some executives raise concerns, but a man named William speaks up about the price of the diamonds. Veronica stays calm and places an extremely valuable diamond in his mouth. She tells him that swallowing it would kill him and points out that someone in his position would pay anything just to avoid that risk. The display unsettles everyone in the room, and she leaves to examine her company's most important stones. Atlas meets with the 3 new horsemen and explains their mission. Their target is the heart diamond, the most valuable item owned by the Vanderburg family. It is stored in a secure facility in Arabia that uses strict protection, including an elevator guarded by armed personnel. The plan is to steal the diamond and use it as the main feature of a major performance meant to draw global attention. Atlas also explains that the Vanderburg family built their empire through extreme pricing, money laundering, and other questionable dealings. He says the corporation helps powerful criminals maintain their influence. The group then realizes that the person who sent the mysterious letter is most likely trying to deliver their own form of justice. Meanwhile, Veronica receives a call from an unknown person who speaks with confidence and no hesitation. He tells her to check the left drawer of her cabinet and asks if she recognizes the stuffed toy inside. He says it belonged to a boy from 15 years earlier. She denies remembering anything, but he insists that she took something important from someone during that time, and now he wants the heart diamond in return. He threatens to reveal information about her if she refuses. Later, Mark, who works as Veronica's cameraman, arrives in the city for a meeting she scheduled. The horsemen track him down and use controlled tricks to influence him without his awareness. They take advantage of the private meeting Veronica arranged. A luxury event takes place shortly after. Guests arrive in expensive cars, the venue fills with high-profile attendees, and Veronica prepares to present the heart diamond at a private auction. While speaking with her guests, she claims that real diamonds create strong emotions. Atlas appears at the event and approaches her. He brings up a historical detail about a famous diamond and attempts to connect it to her work. Veronica corrects him, and he responds by pointing out that diamonds held little meaning for many years, until she convinced the world that marriage should involve a costly diamond ring. Atlas warns Veronica that every story eventually takes a turn. Mark, the cameraman, arrives to photograph the heart diamond and makes it clear that everything must follow his direction. He asks for the diamond to be removed from its case so he can get better shots. June and Charlie observe from nearby. It turns out that the man posing as Mark is actually Bozo in disguise. He completes the session without drawing suspicion, stays in character a bit longer, and quietly leaves. During the official presentation, Veronica displays the heart diamond to the wealthy guests and mentions that no one has seen it in 25 years. Before she can continue, Bozo appears without his disguise and confronts her. He blames her company for destroying the environment and says entire ecosystems are ruined so the corporation can pull out stones that hold no real worth. He throws a large decorative diamond to intensify the scene, and security takes him down immediately. Atlas steps forward and announces that he is about to perform a trick. Veronica doubts him, but he surprises everyone when he opens the case that once held the heart diamond. Veronica grabs the gem and insists it is fine. Atlas then creates a visual burst and reveals that the diamond in her hands is not real. He has the real one. Veronica orders guards to arrest him. A fight breaks out between the Horsemen and security. Jack Wilder appears and helps Atlas, and Henley soon joins them. When they reach the top of the building, they discover that Merritt McKinney has already arrived. He has hypnotized the guards, giving the group a clear route to escape. The Horsemen pretend to board a helicopter, but their actual exit is by sea through a boat hidden in the darkness. After the chaos ends, Veronica reviews the incident and retraces each move the Horsemen made. The real Mart finally arrives, confused about what happened. Merritt later hypnotizes him as well. The Horsemen regroup with the new trio. Atlas explains that the three young fans were the ones who staged the opening show. They mention that Lula is now living in Paris. The atmosphere becomes tense. Merritt and Jack say they want to leave. The younger group wants to know why. The original Horsemen explained that the Eye once instructed them to expose a Russian trafficker, but they made costly mistakes that led to Dylan Rhodes being sent to a Russian prison with no chance of getting out. The guilt ended their team. June, Charlie, and Bozo ask why they were chosen. Atlas says the Eye specifically wants them involved. They still do not know what to do with the expensive diamond. Charlie brings up the letter Atlas received. When they examine it again, they notice it is actually a map that only reveals all its markings when every Horseman is present. Because of that, Merritt and Jack decide to stay. The group travels to France. They reach an old castle where the front door is sealed with a coded mechanism. Jack prepares to unlock it, confident in his skills, but June stops him and says he needs to adapt. She can read the mechanism as well. She moves quickly and opens the door before he gets the chance. Inside the castle, they find puzzles, old objects, books, and hidden systems. While the older Horseman begins studying the area, Charlie solves another code and opens a secret room before any of them. A voice echoes through the walls, warning that nothing in the castle is straightforward. Thaddius Bradley then appears. He says he also received a letter telling him to prepare the castle for certain fugitives, although he does not know why. He explains that the castle once belonged to an allied group during the war. In 1933, that group brought in skilled magicians to help design a fake city meant to mislead enemy forces. Thaddius tells them he has no idea what the Eye plans to do with the heart diamond, and that they will all need to solve the mystery together. At the same time, Veronica is questioned by reporters because the public is beginning to believe her company is involved in money laundering. After the interview, she gets another call from the same unknown man, who demands that she recover the heart diamond without delay. Frustrated, she hangs up and contacts the police chief in France to order a search for the Horsemen. Back at the castle, Atlas and Bozo find a room built upside down. Bozo figures out how to activate the mechanism that shifts the space. Jack and June explore different parts of the castle. During their search, June admits she always admired his work when he was part of the original group. Atlas challenges Bozo to show his real skill, and Bozo accepts. The two of them exchange tricks and debate their techniques. Henley joins in and performs a smooth card move that turns a playing card into the diamond, which Charlie quickly hides. This energizes the group, and everyone begins showing their abilities until they decide to stop and refocus on why they are there. Charlie, who has studied almost everything related to magic, the Eye, and the Horsemen, finds a stack of old documents. He discovers an encyclopedia connected to the Nazis. They learn that Veronica's father was tied to them, and that he built his wealth through laundering and illegal work. They also find records suggesting that 15 years earlier, Veronica's housekeeper and her son died in what was claimed to be an accident, but the group now believes it was part of a criminal cover-up. French police arrive moments later to arrest the Horsemen. They only have time to say a quick goodbye to Thaddius before running in separate directions through the castle. Officers catch up to Jack and Bozo in the upside-down room, but Bozo hits the mechanism and flips the area, allowing them to escape. Henley and Charlie get away through a mirror hallway, and Merritt stays behind to distract an officer in another room filled with reflections. Once they manage to shake the police, they regroup in front of Thaddius. He is spotted as well, and before they can help him, he closes the door on them. Officers rush in, and Thaddius performs one final act by making himself vanish in a sudden burst of light. A gunshot follows. The kids hear it and run toward the sound. They find Thaddius hidden and seriously injured. He struggles to give them instructions on how to escape. Merritt had tried to reach him but was captured. Barely holding on, Thaddius gives them his last message. He tells them not to abandon one another and admits that he knew this mission would be his final trick. He asks them not to waste his sacrifice and reminds them that they still have a larger purpose to complete. He dies soon after. June, Jack, and Merritt end up arrested. Boso is desperate to save June, whom he sees as family, and wants to act immediately. Atlas stops him and says they need to think carefully because they are all fugitives now. While this happens, Veronica arrives at the police station to question Merritt herself. Merritt informs Veronica that Thaddius has died and tells her he is done holding back because everything has become personal. The news unsettles her, and she finally admits she has never liked magic. When she was young, her father showed her a simple trick and she practiced it constantly, hoping he would pay attention to her. He never did, and that lack of affection stayed with her. Merritt studies her reactions and explains that he can understand her without relying on any skill from his act. He points out that she has already shown the root of her pain. Her mother took her own life because of her father's distant behavior, and Veronica has spent years trying to earn the approval he never gave. Things became even worse when her father focused on the housekeeper instead of his own family. Merritt continues and reveals the truth she has been hiding. She tampered with the housekeeper's car and caused the crash that killed both the woman and her child. Once she leaves the room, a woman with a messy appearance enters the station pretending she needs help for an injured arm. It is Lula May using a disguise so she can break the team out since she was already in the country. Veronica tries to move June out of the building, but a guard rushes in to report the situation with the strange visitor, and that gives June the chance to slip away. Lula reaches Jack first, frees him, and then gets Merritt out. June fights two officers on her own until Merritt arrives to help, choosing to stay behind while she gets out. June manages to escape, but Merritt ends up caught again, and Veronica takes charge of him herself. June reunites with the rest of the group and tells them she made it out, but Merritt was taken. Charlie then brings up something important. He knows Veronica also runs a car company and is preparing a major presentation in Abu Dhabi for a new model. Atlas suggests trading the diamond for Merritt's release, but Jack refuses to consider it. Lula agrees and says they cannot make deals with someone like Veronica. They need to bring the truth out. Charlie steps closer and tells Atlas that before meeting the Horsemen, he lived without purpose. Watching them expose corruption and stand up for something meaningful changed the way he viewed the world. His words impact Atlas, and he agrees to move forward with a real plan. During the flight to Abu Dhabi, the group works together to build the show they intend to perform. They release a public announcement to create excitement for a new act. Not long after, Veronica contacts Atlas and confirms that she will come to her automotive event with Merritt if they bring the Heart Diamond. The team arrives at the high-end showcase where Veronica presents her newest car to the public. After the reveal, she meets the Horsemen. They hand her the diamond and she releases Merritt as agreed. While this happens, the younger members create a distraction. June manages to take an ID badge and coordinates a sequence of movements that allows Boz to take control of the new car. Just as the Horsemen attempt to leave, they realize Veronica had planned ahead. She traps them inside a large glass container and begins filling it with sand. The group is forced to face the possibility that they might not make it out. Their fear pushes them to think clearly and they study the structure. They realize that if they can break a pipe, water will mix with the sand and weaken the container enough for them to break out. While they struggle inside the box, Veronica transports what she believes is the real diamond to deliver it to the person who has been directing her actions all along. Boz tries to get away in the stolen car, but he is chased down and captured. Inside the sand-filled chamber, the Horsemen continue to fight for time. Henley uses the diamond on her ring to cut into the glass. The others help by hitting the weakened spots until the structure finally breaks, and they escape moments before the sand buries them. In another part of the venue, Boz is surrounded by Interpol officers. He refuses to give up and forces his way out in a frantic and rough fight. Meanwhile, Veronica reaches the secure room where she believes the Heart Diamond is supposed to be stored. The voice that has been calling her from the start is waiting for her, and it turns out to be Charlie. She recognizes him and is shocked because she believed he died. Charlie answers with a small piece of magic, the same trick their father once taught. He then reveals the truth. He is her half-brother. His mother was the housekeeper who died in the crash years ago. He explains that she released him from the car before she died, and that their father refused to acknowledge him. Despite that, Charlie knows he is still part of the family by blood. He came back to confront the person responsible for his mother's death. Veronica panics and fires at him, but the bullets do nothing. The lights come on, and an audience is revealed around them. Charlie explains that the entire situation was part of a performance. He announces that the Heart Diamond is being returned to its rightful owner, and introduces June and Boz as his partners. The Horsemen rise on stage through smoke effects and applause. Charlie stands at the center and tells his story for the first time. Losing his mother set him on a single goal, which shaped every decision he made. He recruited each horseman carefully and built a long plan designed to expose the truth. This moment is his official reveal. Veronica refuses to accept any of it, so Charlie explains how the plan worked. She never left the car she arrived in. Her gun carried no live rounds. The elevator she believed was taking her below ground only slid across a layer of sand. These small details kept her fooled because she relied too heavily on her own confidence. He then shares the final twist. As the only legal heir to his father, he will donate all the profits from the Heart Diamond to communities in South Africa. Keeping with the Horseman's tradition, he also promises that everyone in the audience will receive something to take home. Charlie ends the show with a reminder that each person has to create their own path, regardless of what life gives them. The group then introduces themselves once again as the Horsemen. Later, the entire team gathers together. The new members and the originals celebrate their success. The women decide to form their own magic team. Jack and Lula finally share a kiss. Then something unexpected breaks the celebration. A doorbell rings in a location that is supposed to be hidden. A package has been left without a sender. When Charlie opens it, a hologram appears. It is Dylan. He explains that he allowed the team to believe in incomplete history because his main goal was to bring everyone back together. He adds that June, Charlie, and Bose proved themselves and are now official members of the Eye. Before the message ends, Dylan warns them that their work is not finished. What they just went through was not a conclusion. It was the start of something much larger.